It's that time of the week again where we get to talk about brand new VR games coming out this week, some games coming out next week, and of course some of that juicy VR gaming news. But before we dive into that, I want to thank today's channel sponsor, Astro Hunters VR. Gear up, Hunters, as it's time to dive into an adrenaline-pumping world of Astro Hunters VR. Exploring diverse planets, gathering rare resources, and of course crafting your powerful gear. Upgrade your gear with fire, plasma, electricity, and of course acid modifiers. Fight with an ally or other hunters in a high-stakes PvPvE battle. Will you trust, betray, or dominate? The choice is yours. Taking on missions, scavenging, and conquering, these are all things you can get up to in this game. This weekend only, you'll be able to dive into Astro Hunters for yourself on Steam, so make sure you go check that out for yourselves. There are links in the description down below so that you can go check it out and play this. Other than that though, get it on your wish list. I'll also have those links in the description and pinned comments so that you can get this on your wish list ready for it to drop in Q3 of this year. Massive thank you to Astro Hunters for sponsoring today's video, and now let's dive into the brand new VR games that came out this week. New VR games this week. Black Forge, a smithing adventure. This is one I've actually been kind of looking forward to, and I can give you my feedback on this and a mini little review to let you know whether this game is going to be right for you or not. Now, I dived into this and I honestly really enjoyed my experience. It's a very laid back sort of transcendic sort of game where you're going to really get in there and just lose yourself entirely to building weapons and of course doing little missions. Now, this isn't an action-packed adventure. This is actually quite the opposite. It's very relaxing where you're going to be getting customers coming to you asking for specific things, whether it be building a new pickaxe or of course crafting a freaking dope sword. This is going to be entirely down to the people that come to you looking for your help to build them the ultimate weapon that they need for their journey. Now, honestly, this game really blew me away, whether it be lathing down a piece of wood or of course crafting an epic blade whilst being accompanied by your little fire bunny dude. It's actually really cool and a very charming adventure, so I highly recommend this if you're looking for just a very chill and relaxed experience. This one is going to be really good for you, so check this one out if you're interested. It's on the Quest store as of right now. Next up is Taskmaster VR. Well, as we all know, I've spoken about this several times on this channel where I always said the same thing, which is I'm not really sure if this game is going to be for me or not, and well, turns out I was pretty correct. Honestly, I'm kind of disappointed after having experienced this game for myself. It felt very mediocre at best. Now, I think if you're an ultimate fan of the show, then you're going to enjoy yourself a little bit in this, mainly because of the fact that you get to walk around, see these sets, see obviously the presenters, and be in this sort of environment. But for me, the actual games that you play in this are very lackluster. On top of that, really there's a lot of repeated dialogue which I didn't really enjoy hearing over and over again, and then on top of that, it wasn't the best mechanics. Also, the game didn't run the best. I felt like it had a lot of frame rate drops, which kind of bugged me as I was playing this. Other than that, the game looks quite nice. It's just, yeah, really not for me, and I'm not entirely sure I can recommend this one. It just kind of feels a bit lackluster. I mean, if you really want to try it, then feel free to give it a go on Quest, and then of course you can get your refund after 2 hours if you feel the same way as me. But I just really wanted to warn you before going into this that this is not all sunshines and rainbows kind of thing. It's a little bit mid, so yeah, take that for what you will. Next up is Journey to the Foundation, hitting the PCVR store, i.e. Steam. Honestly, I was really looking forward to this one coming because I thought it would lead to a better graphical experience, and honestly I can sadly reveal that it doesn't look that great on PC, which is a real shame because this game had so much going for it. It has a really good story going through this, and honestly it didn't look too bad on Quest and stuff. It wasn't the best on PSVR 2, and really after seeing it on PC as well, it just really didn't scratch the itch for me. Personally, if you're going to play this, I would play it on Quest because, you know, at least you're going into it with the expectation of the graphic limitations. Then you can enjoy the story. It seems like they worked out most of the kinks and bugs from this game, but it still just doesn't look that great. Sad to report on that, but it is what it is. VR game news. Last week we got a better look at Batman Arkham Shadow. Finally we got to see a little bit more of the world building, but still no gameplay, sadly. But nonetheless, this does look pretty freaking sweet. It's sort of setting the tone for what this game is going to be about. There was also a few developer interviews that really led me to get a little bit more excited about this game. They were talking about things like the combat feeling very dynamic. It's very important to feel like a traditional Arkham game. So I'm actually really excited for this. There looks like there's going to be so many promising points to this. I don't want to get the hype factor too high because you know what it's like until you see gameplay or I've experienced it for myself so that I can give you an honest opinion. I really can't can't dive too deeply into this, but I will say on the surface level of things, I can see why the hype is high, and I honestly am trying to not get my expectations too high, but I am very much looking forward to this game. It looks like it's going to be a very established game. It looks like they truly care about what they're crafting here, and for me, that's all the indicators I need to know that I think this is going to be something very special. Also, they're talking about really pushing the Quest 3 to its limits, so it'll be nice to finally see what that looks like. Next up, Kayak VR just dropped a brand new DLC, the Soka Valley DLC. In this, you're going to be able to see a freaking gorgeous environment where even bears might sometimes try and nibble on your paddle. Honestly, this is just another shining example of a game studio who just focus on one mission, and that is making this game look freaking beautiful. It's pretty questionable that you're not in real life when you're in this game because it looks that good. Now, of course, it's available on PSVR 2 and PCVR. This is a free DLC, so if you own this game already, then it's a good reason to jump back into this very chill and relaxed game, and well until a bear might bite you, but nonetheless, it's time to jump back into it for free. Shout out to them for this because it's an incredible DLC. I plan on making a video for this next week, so if you're interested in seeing this for yourself, stick around the channel, subscribe and all that good stuff, and check this one out when it drops next week. Next, Exo Cars showed a little bit of gameplay. This is something I've been teasing in this channel for a little while about this game coming out, and I've said the same thing every time. I need to see some freaking gameplay, please, and finally they dropped a little bit of gameplay, so I want to show you that as we're talking about this today. This is something I'm looking forward to experiencing, and honestly, after seeing this gameplay footage, it does look pretty promising. So let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Is this a leave it, or is it something that you think is alright? Also, Breachers just dropped a brand new map, The Dam. Oh damn. I'm actually pretty excited to jump in to try this over the weekend, so if you own this game, again, another free DLC you can jump into and re-experience over this weekend. I'm actually looking forward to this. The map looks freaking cool. Honestly, it's been needing a new map just to keep the rotation going well, and yeah, this is the answer to that. The dam looks freaking gorgeous. Coming up next week, Miracle Pool is going to be dropping on the Quest next week. I'm looking forward to this one, as I do love me a game of pool, and not only that, this one also gives you a bunch of opportunities to be able to do some very cool trick shots and stuff, as well as get some friends in there and play some multiplayer. Honestly, I think this is a shining example of a good game because you can get in it with some friends, have some like social experience, and then on top of that, you get to play a dope game. Now, one of their focuses in this is to make it the most realistic experience with like billiard balls, like actually having true physics and stuff. So I'm actually excited to try this one out for myself. I think this is going to be a bit of a banger. If you're into this sort of thing, or you just like socializing in this kind of experience, then I think you're going to have a banger of a time. Next up, Mannequin is making its way to PCVR. I'm pretty excited about this because I feel like that graphical boost is what this game kind of needs, and oh my gosh, I think it's going to look pretty damn good. Yet to try it on PC for myself, but I'm pretty excited to try it out. Like I say, it's coming next week, so keep your eyes peeled. I think this one's going to be a really banger, and honestly, the game is such a solid experience that having it on PCVR is just going to expand the player base. And last but not least, Blade and Sorcery is getting its update that is going to bring it to full release on PCVR. Now, I do want to say as a caveat quickly, anyone who owns Blade and Sorcery Nomad on Quest is going to get this update later in this year. This is purely for PCVR players to start with, and then they're going to upgrade this and drop it into the Nomad version of the game for Quest later this year, so just keep that in mind. Within this, you're going to now get the final gem hunt, which is going to be essentially like the actual game of this game, because as we know, it's really doing a sandbox sort of murder sim for the longest of times, but this is actually going to give this game a little bit more purpose and an actual sort of mission basis to be able to do things in. So exciting times for Blade and Sorcery fans. I think it's going to give people some, new experiences to be able to have, and I'm also interested to see what modders do with this when they mod it up and sort of like, make it your own. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on that in the comments down below. That's about going to do it for this video, guys. It's actually been a pretty decent week, although a little bit quieter, but nonetheless still pretty interesting to have some cool games coming out. Of course, let me know what you're going to be playing over this weekend in the comments down below. I always love to know because it kind of encourages me to maybe even jump in. You might see me on Breachers this weekend, so jump into there and keep your eyes peeled for Rhys the King popping up on Breachers. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, smash like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It does truly help the channel out, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.